And everyone approaches situations differently. So for example, a builder's in here right now, like I gotta get results. I gotta figure out what's gonna get me results. That's a builder right now. Innovator's like taking all the things and trying to solve the problems of what their business is. A merchant's like, I just wanna connect with everyone here. I just wanna connect, let's connect. And a banker is like taking everything in and trying to dissect and put everything together. Because the bankers are the ones that, they're the most least common entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship takes a lot of risk and it takes a bunch of action without having a certain result, or it takes uncertainty. Bankers don't like uncertainty. They don't. So they want to know everything and then take action. They're risk adverse. They don't want risk. And sometimes bankers are the accountants or the bank tellers that want a systemized job. They want a consistent, engineer, they want that. So I used to be the immature person that was like, don't you want to be an entrepreneur? And it's like, and I realized after this, like, they'd rather have the security and consistency. That's when they're the happiest. So like I said, this is a powerful tool, and I've refrained from using it a lot in workshops or anything because I just haven't felt like sharing it, but realizing the importance and how much of a drastic difference it made in my happiness, my results, my life, my team success, I had to share it. So these are the things that I wanted to share first, where it's not something that is environment-based or how you grew up, it's who you are at your core. So it's your innate core values. So there's the different types. There's builders, which their primary social values are action and results. Primary social values. There's the merchant, where their primary social values is relationships, love, vision. There's the innovator, primary social values, assessment, problem solving, solutions, wisdom. Then there's the banker, which is conservation, information, systems, things like that. This will help you not only figure yourself out, but it'll help you attract the right people, understand other people, relate with other people. Because if people just understood each other's core values, it would solve a lot of problems. Business, personal, relationships, family, it's insane. So, does everyone have their score? Get your score out real quick. And so there's 4 core values, or there's 4 social values, and then there's spiritual values. So this is what they value, like power and faith. So if a builder has faith taken away, they don't know what to do next, they freak out. Start getting anxiety. Innovator is wisdom and compassion. Merchant is love and truth. Banker is knowledge and justice. So you can see, here's some of the reasons people conflict. Like, look at the different scores. And your main score is what you're in almost all the time. And there's positives and negatives to each score. So some people have a similar top score, like some of you guys have like 23-23, where your top 2 scores are the same. So does everyone know what their top score is? Like what their majority primary score is? This is exciting to share, but every score has a conflict strategy. If you're ever not in the right state of mind, if someone ever crosses your values or you flip to like a negative state, there's 4 things people do based on their core value. You either intimidate, you manipulate, you interrogate, or you go into aloof judgment, which is like making someone feel stupid. And look at number 2. Which success strategy has caused you the greatest pain and emotional duress? What's the hardest for you? Action and results, or vision and relationships, problem solving or assessment, or information, knowledge, systems, things like that. That's how you know what your main score is. But just figure out your scores in order, the top 3. Trust me, this is a game changer. I'm fired up. This is fun for me. CVI is a game changer. Okay, so just know your scores. Okay, everyone operates based off their top 2 scores. I'm gonna give you the breakthroughs of every score, how to reach the breakthrough, or how do you reach the top 1% of your field based on your score. Because if you hit a specific niche in your score, if you treat your score a certain way, that's when you go breakthrough to the next level. But I want you guys to understand, you either operate out of your positive side of your top score or your negative side. So here's the 4 different ones. Builder, core value is power, personal energy invested to make a difference. The contributions to their team are actions and results. Faith, it's catalyzed by faith. I know what to do now, I will know what to do next, my power is sufficient. Conflict strategy, if they're not in a positive state, if they don't feel like they have power, they start to intimidate. Learning styles, decide and do. Merchant, core value is love, working towards an inspired vision of what can be by nurturing the core values in oneself and in others. So there's your merchant, you want to help people, that's why. And some people will not make, that won't make sense. If they're a builder, they're gonna be like, dude, why don't you just get results? I don't understand. And people that don't understand the other person's score is the most ineffective person on the planet, right? If you understand everyone's score, you're like always the most influential. Bankers, core value is knowledge. So, and bankers are the ones that are very organized, they're systematic. They're the ones that they have to have all the information before they really want to take action, right? Knowing the facts through research, measurement, proof, and records. So merchants don't need to know the facts. They're just ready to like have a vision and go. But bankers are like, wait, what are you doing? You got to get all the facts down, right? Justice, ensuring the quality of access, accountability, compensation, and opportunity. Conflict strategy, aloof judgment. Got it? Learning styles, read and analyze. And they're the types, just like innovators as well, where they don't speak up unless they gather all the information and they have something intelligent to say, right? So they're not the type to speak up. Like a merchant or a builder will want to speak up and get involved. The innovator more sits back and takes access of everything and then figures out the best solution based on everyone else and based on what they're thinking, based on the situation. So their core value is wisdom, seeing the way things are and discerning what to do about it. Remaining empathetic and curious regardless of the behavior and emotions of others. They're very big on problem solving. They assess situations and they solve the problem. But conflict is they interrogate. If you don't take their answer and they know you're gonna be wrong, they'll interrogate it and make you feel like you're wrong, right? So the innovator, they don't need other people to tell them the solutions. Because the best thing you can say to innovators is, what do you think? So you can always relate to their top core value. That's anytime you want to get anything done from someone else, you have to hit their core value. That's a 3-hour seminar on the value of that and the ethics of that, but just simplifying to 1 minute. If you want to get anything and you want to really get value from a person or add value to them, understand their core value, right? So here's the negative traits of every score. If you're not operating with full confidence and you're not in a positive state of mind, this is what happens. So this is builders' negative traits. And if you're in a negative trait, you're never effective. So if you're in a negative trait and you're trying to get something from somebody and you're doing, like if a builder is pushy or angry, he's never gonna, it's the opposite. People disrespect him versus wanting respect. Pushy, angry, frustrated, gruff, always right, inconsiderate, overbearing, arrogant, and bossy. Who knows a builder and you're like, oh my God, that's a builder. I'm a builder too, right? But the most mature builder that really wants results, they switch from negative to staying positive and they flip to see what the other person's core value is to really relate to them. That's like the craziest high level, like the Tony Robbins, the Elon Musk type people. They really know how to use their score. When builders are pushed, so when you try to intimidate a builder, that's what happens. Gets angry, change their mind, ridicule, intimidate, stomp out, command, attack, make you wrong, shame you, point the finger, blow up friendships, overpower. Now this is negative, if they're negative. So if you know a builder and you're like, he doesn't do this. He's mature and he's not in a negative state, right? I don't think it worked. Oh yeah, I think it does with you. Cool, merchant, here we go. When a merchant's in a negative state, all you merchants out there, forgetful, flighty, inconsistent, pouty, flippant, manipulative, exaggerating, unfounded, impulsive. No way. So when you're pushed, forgetful, whine, give up, change the subject, talk about the futures, judge you to be beneath us, discount what you say, attack, manipulate, exaggerate, sell, complain, look innocent, throw up our hands, cling to anyone, we win you over. You guys can figure out what those mean. But so when you're in a negative state, so for example, everyone has different negative contributions of what they do when they're in a bad mood or when they're frustrated. These are the main things these scores go to. So knowing how to deal with this is a huge breakthrough. Innovators, very stubborn, distracted. So if an innovator's mad, they're disconnected. They don't want nothing to do with you. Stop talking to me. Uncooperative, one-track minded, indecisive, protected. What's unique about innovators is you can't really tell sometimes if they're in a good or bad mood or what they're thinking because they're very reserved. So they could be like furious inside, but they're just like, and you have no idea, right? Unresponsive. They reroute, they get stubborn, recompute, try to confuse you with the facts, they'll complicate your life if you make them mad, withhold feelings, shut down, slow you down, deny facts that you don't fit our solution, sometimes quit. And they're the type 2 on a team where if they fully believe in something, they will ride or die. They're not always money focused, they're like movement focused, where if they are a part of something they believe in, they're gonna go to the ends of the earth. The biggest thing with innovators too is they have to have super strong reasons. Builders don't need reasons, they'll just take action, just when they feel like it. So your positive score could also be your negative. So a builder's biggest attribute is results and action, but that also could be a negative. If you take too much results and action without thinking, that's the problem. Like a merchant can take a lot, could have a huge vision, could rally a team, but they're the ones sometimes, if they're not developed yet, where they'll share a ton of visions, but if they don't have a builder, they won't back it up with action. They'll always have a big vision, but they won't take action. Does that make sense? So that's the merchant without a builder and not knowing your scores. Here's the banker. Cold, unmoving, always right, judgmental. I don't even know what myopic means.
It means farsighted.
Farsighted.
Myopic. I mean, I have that.
Like tunnel vision.
Got it, tunnel vision.
Yeah.
I should learn that. Indecisive, withholding, say no, reorganize, politic. So you guys see all these. So these are the negatives. So you see the positives and the negatives. Now, here's the biggest breakthroughs, and then we'll kind of dive into different scores, okay? First, understanding each score and who people are at their core. So there's so many examples where if you don't understand who someone else is, it's really hard to get through to them and to relate to them. And this is why I feel that relationship statuses are just astronomical right now as far as breakups and divorce rates and all that kind of stuff. They don't understand each other. So someone who values love and relationships and someone else who values independence and is more independent and they value wisdom and knowledge, if you think someone should be just like you, the other person will resent you. Does that make sense? So you have to understand people's core values. So there's a lot of examples where two people are totally different and they don't understand why the other person's like how they are and they always are butting heads. So I want to go through, I'm going to go through these breakthroughs, then I want to share some of you guys share some scores, and we'll really dive into how to fix any tension that's happening or what's happening. Knowing you're in a negative state and switching. If you ever feel like you're in a negative state of your score, you flip and think about what the other person's core value is. So if you're in a frustrated mood, realize that she is merchant, she values love, family, relationships first. So what you're doing is for the family, but if you're in a negative state, you almost have to flip and put yourself in her shoes where you want to make sure you're focusing on love, family, relationships, giving her time, things like that. Does that make sense? Because if you focus and just focus on the business, she doesn't care sometimes if you're getting results. If you don't show her focus and she's number one in attention, she doesn't care how the results are. You might think, and with me, I thought my wife only she wants results, but she wanted my attention and me to understand her and love. So if I get a bunch of results thinking she wants that, she doesn't care. Especially if we're not good, the last thing she cares about is me getting results. Does that make sense? So understanding those kind of things, this is a whole process, but it's such a game changer. And there's a book called the Core Value Index short book. It's $50 or $100. I have the PDF because I've worked with the company so long and I've helped them so much, spread the word. I don't get paid anything for it, but I have the book. I will send all of you guys the book too. It's a book worth reading. So I'll give that to you and you can send it out as well. So, breakthrough. Once you know how to get to your first and second score, which everybody does, the third score is the absolute game changer. Let me give you an example. So I'm a merchant, a builder merchant. It's my first 2 scores. So I can get results and build relationships. My third score is an innovator. So I was always hyper and building relationships and taking action, but not thinking things through caused me to take a bunch of action and build a bunch of relationships, but still go broke. So back in 2010, when I learned this, they said the third score is the game changer. And something just like, I'm like, I never think things through. All my decisions are based off emotion or results. They're never based off intelligence because I don't use my intelligence. I just take action. So I started journaling like, okay, is this a time to take action or a time to think things through? Is this the most intelligent decision I can make? If the answer is no, I reroute. So the third score, that's when I finally started thinking things through, like, okay, I know how to take action and get results. Now I got to think things through and take a step back, which is not comfortable for me. I don't like thinking things through. I like to just go. But when I started thinking things through, everything else became clear. That's when I hit my first 6 figures and 7 figures, when I hit my third score. So you guys figure out your third score. So let's give an example. Who wants to tell me their third score? What's your third score? Builder. So if you can take your first 2 scores and max those out and take a lot of action, game over. So you taking consistent action, game over. So only you know how good you are at taking action when you don't feel like it. But usually if you're a third builder, what's your first score, merchant? Innovator merchant. So you have strong reasons to do something and you're doing it for people that you care about. You're gonna take action. But if you can take action consistently, despite the mood you're in, and despite if people are watching, or despite if you have reasons, that's when you're unstoppable. Do you feel like right now you take action when there's reasons and when you know why you're doing it? And if you don't, what if you don't know why you're doing it, you don't have reasons?
Then I don't take action.
There we go. So the action is the game changer. So in a business that you're in business, action has to be taken no matter how you feel. Does that make sense? That'll keep the business growing. So third score is builder. What's your third score? You're an innovator, so you have solutions, and you have a lot going on in your head because you're studying so much, so you have so many things you want to solve and things you want to do, and your relationship focus is like you want to help everybody, right? So and if you're not taking enough action, this will cloud you all day long. You'll be so overwhelmed and have anxiety because there's so much information that you're trying to solve. There's so many problems you're solving and you're taking on so much and you have such a big heart that you want to help everybody, it's causing the action to not be the right action. So if you can take the right action and use your innovator, by the way, there's no wrong scores, of course. There's just specific scores for specific positions and things. And anyone that maximizes their score can reach the top 1% of whatever they want. It's just most people don't maximize their score. A lot of people live in their negative state. If you don't get whatever your top score is, you're in a negative state. So if merchants don't have love, they're in a negative state. If builders don't get results, they're in a negative state. If bankers aren't organized and they don't have all the information, or people don't trust them, they get in a negative state. If innovators don't have problems to solve and they don't have information, like wisdom coming at them, they're not learning, they go in a negative state. So you're amazing at building relationships. Probably one of the best, right? And builder's second, right? So you can take action to get what you want, but you're gonna build relationships and you're gonna always be like having a vision and you're always gonna be taking action, but you're not gonna fully think things through to the end result and you won't be thinking longer term consistently. That's the breakthrough. So your third score is innovator. If you can sit down for like a day and do nothing, it's already hard for you, right? No phone calls, do nothing, and just think things through of what you're doing, why you're doing it, what you want, what's next, that's the breakthrough. I can see how there's so much frustration and depression and societal problems right now because I was in my top 2 scores all the time, but I was broke and struggling and frustrated. So I'm like, I am giving my absolute freaking best and I'm frustrated. But I never utilized my third score. What's another third score? Merchant. So you building relationships will change the game for you. Done.
About banker, third school.
Organization.
What about it?
So if you get more organized and create systems and processes for the company, that's the game changer. Are you an innovator merchant or a merchant innovator?
Merchant innovator.
Merchant, innovator, banker, yeah. So you're gonna have a big vision. You're gonna people are gonna naturally wanna be with you and be attracted to you as far as the business goes. If you can figure out, if you can take all the information from the company, from the previous couple years and create systems, that's the breakthrough. What's your third score? Merchant, builder, innovator. So same thing. So your merchant built the company because you had a crazy vision. Your builder got all the results. And you just did it from pure like will and pure like you had to do it. The innovator is where you're gonna create the long-term company that you can exit and sell for millions. Like thinking, if you took your innovator and used her banker, that's your company's total transformation. I can guarantee that. Because you can, the thing with the second, you can thrive with your first two scores, but in order to like, to the next level, you have to hit the third. Or find someone extremely good to delegate the third, but I don't think in my experience, it's as fulfilling to hit your third because it's you. It's like you mastering yourself. You're an innovator, builder, banker? Yeah, so you're super, 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 super independent. That's, innovator builders are like, yeah. No, that's just who you are. And then your third is banker. So yeah, if you just used all the information you have, if you gathered all the information from your past and all the information from whatever you've done business-wise, and you created systems, that's the breakthrough. So we never think we need the third score. That's the funny thing. But that's the breakthrough. So our society is so backwards, they don't think they need certain things, but that's the one thing that actually holds them back. So for you, if you can start building relationships with the right people, that will, around whatever is relevant to your business, around town, different industries, same industry, if you build relationships, that will take the awareness of what you do to a whole new level. Do you think that's true? Yeah. So you can either hire a business partner that's good at relationships or start getting better yourself. It's the only options. Okay? Now, you're not gonna hit your fourth score, ever. Do not worry about it.
Mine's like the tiny book.
Do not worry about it. You'll never hit your fourth score.
Does anyone have almost equally after?
Some people do, and they're the ones that are super even keel, but they can switch kind of whenever they want. The closer the square is, the more you are, but always your first two you're gonna flip out of, unless your first one's way far away from your second. Every three is like an earthquake magnitude away, so it's hard. So it takes a while to switch. If you're like a merchant innovator and your merchant's way up here and your innovator's down, you're gonna most likely do everything for your merchant. If you can switch consciously, that's great, but the third score is gonna be even harder, and think about life. Of course it's hard, it's the hardest thing to do is hit your third score, but it's the biggest what when you hit it? Biggest breakthrough. That's why 95% of people struggle and 5% thrive. That's why.
What if your industry demands your fourth one, but you just never know?
Then you're not gonna be happy, you gotta leave. Yeah. Yeah. If your industry demands your biggest weakness, see ya. Yeah, you're gonna never feel like you're good enough. You're gonna be like, dude, I can't do this. When your skills should be way better utilized somewhere else, right?
One of the categories is like your typical, like, I wanna say like car salesman, like, you know, like the people that are like really good at sales, which group?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I used to think it was specific scores, but there's really, every single score can be amazing at sales depending on if they love what they do, but depending on the approach they take. So a builder will be the salesperson that just kind of tries to push people and rub people the wrong way. A merchant will kind of be the one that listens and builds a relationship and shares ideas and actually like creates a vision. And a banker will be the one that gets all the information from the customer, what they want, and they'll present them with a very tactical, this is why you should buy the car. It has these benefits, and they do all the benefits. But the customers don't care about that sometimes. So this is why in sales, knowing your customer is a game changer too. Knowing if they're an emotional buyer or a logical buyer and all that things. But this is a big one, not stressing about your fourth score, because you're gonna drive yourself crazy. What should you do with your fourth score? Just delegate it. So Steve Jobs, innovator builder, super visionary, innovator, like problem solver, took a bunch of action. None of his employees liked him. He was super rude. He drove merchants the wrong way. People quit, he didn't care. That's the last thing on his mind. So you might not, as a merchant, you're like, how can he not care what people, he just doesn't have that in him, right? He was like the strong, like the innovator type. A lot of police officers are bankers, the justice people. If I'm a police officer, I'm never giving a ticket because I feel bad. I'm never giving a ticket. I'm like, all right, just do good next time. That's what I'm saying. But if you're a banker and when someone's breaking the law and it's coming into your core values, like, dude, this is, you're not doing justice. They're gonna give you a ticket every time. They don't care what you say. You know those cops, you're like, dude, what a asshole. He's just doing his job, he's a banker. Does that make sense? And some cops are super like, I would love to get pulled over by Justin. Hey, I'm so sorry, my kid is sick, and all right, you're good. That's him. You're good, right? And everyone approaches situations differently. It's coming. So, for example, a builder's in here right now, like, I gotta get results. I gotta figure out what's gonna get me results. That's a builder right now. Like, what am I gonna get results? Innovators like taking all the things and trying to solve the problems of what their business is. A merchant's like, I just wanna connect with everyone here. I just wanna connect, let's connect, right? And a banker is like taking everything in and trying to dissect and put everything together. Because the bankers are the ones that, they're the most least common entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship takes a lot of risk and it takes a bunch of action without having a certain result, or it takes uncertainty. Bankers don't like uncertainty. They don't. So they want to know everything and then take action. Right? They're like they're like opposite risk. They're risk adverse. They don't want risk. But in order to, and sometimes bankers are the accountants or the bank tellers that want a systemized job. They want a consistent, engineer, they want that. So I used to be the immature person that was like, don't you want to be an entrepreneur? And it's like, and I realized after this, like, they'd rather have the security and consistency. That's when they're the happiest. Like a banker, so my wife's grandma's a banker, high banker. We will be driving, and Caleb, we're like 16 miles away. No, we're not, we're 16.2 miles. Who cares? That's me, who cares? But that's just how she is. It just makes sense in her head. She wants to be accurate, and we need people like that, right? Because merchants are like, we're 20 miles when we're like 37. It doesn't matter. We'll get there. When we get there, we're gonna have fun. Yeah, that's a merchant. Does everyone get this? So this is, the breakthrough is putting yourself in others' perspectives.
Hey, what's up guys? If you like this video, I think you'll really enjoy these videos right here. And also please make sure you subscribe, hit the subscribe button below. We have a lot of amazing content coming out. See you guys soon.